So what's the worst thing you've ever seen from a home inspection?
So probably the worst experience was a pretty dark experience. I was doing a
Like the lights were
inspection.
out?
Nope, the power was on, thank goodness.
All right.
So it was a estate sale.
Okay.
Um, the children were selling it. The dad lived there by themselves and found this out after I arrived at the home inspection. It was not disclosed ahead of time. So he did live by himself. Children were far enough away that they didn't check on the dad very often. And his health was not great. Again, he's there by himself. He had passed away and had been there for a very, very long time. And actually,
Like when you got there?
no.
Okay.
This was all done.
Okay.
But before they found him,
Uh-huh.
he had liquefied. It's
Oh.
a really
Oh my gosh.
very, very bad situation, but a real situation that happens.
Yeah.
And they were not finished with the remediation. And when I say that it was bad, it was in the walls, it was in the flooring, it was in the subfloor. So they're in the process of remediating and taking this out. But Renee, when I walked through the front door, the smell hit me.
Did you just leave? Like,
I did have to turn around and I walked back out.
oh my
And
gosh.
as a home inspector, you come prepared for any situation. And I masked up with my respirator and it made it bearable. But it's still, it hits you in the feels.
Yeah.
So I'm just picturing my family and
Yeah.
having something like that happen, and it makes you want to pick the phone up and call everybody that you haven't talked to.
Yeah,
for
check
so
in with
long.
everybody. Is everybody okay?
But that situation
Yeah.
had affected 4 different rooms of the house because of the position that the bed was where he passed
Wow.
away, and as well as the finished basement underneath.
Yeah, and don't they
So-
do like a professional
Oh yeah.
biohazard, like
Yep.
cleaning and all of that because of
Yeah.
that situation?
You would almost think that you walked into a home that was getting remediated for asbestos or lead paint, where they have like everything wardened off
the
around
plastic.
these room.
Yeah.
And it was probably the worst scenario. Now, when it comes to just
Yeah, I would say that's
pre-loved
pretty
homes,
up there.
pre-loved homes that are not in great condition, seen a lot of those. That was probably the worst scenario because not only was it a bad situation, but it also it makes you think and it makes you want to
Yeah,
hug the
like
people you
that
haven't seen in a
happened.
while. Yeah,
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, that's terrible.
it was.
That is
Oh.
bad.
And the smell was just. And
Yeah.
I could be driving down the road and something will be like a similar.
Yeah.
And it'll just hit me again, and it's
Yeah,
just,
you'll remember.
It's retching.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Wow.
But
And
that home was remediated and it sold. So
And all was
anything
well.
is fixable. It's my motto.
yeah, you said that we were
Everything
at an
can be
inspection
fixed.
today, and you said that today.
Yeah.
Everything's fixable.
That's
Don't
right.
worry. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things, and I have never come across anything that can't be fixed.
Yeah. So our inspection today, there was some children there, and I noticed you have a special certification when you see children. And
I absolutely do.
you gave them a certificate. So tell us about that.
It's a monster-free guarantee. So, home buying experience for anybody that's been involved in it, it's not as exciting as everybody likes to make it think it is. There's a lot of stress involved for
Yeah.
everybody in the family, not even the decision makers, but for the kids as well. And when they come to the home inspection, it's just really nice that you can make them feel like they're a part of it. And you give them your flashlight, and when
Yeah.
you're going through their bedroom, and you're letting them know that you're giving them that monster-free guarantee, and just the smile that it puts on their face. And we all want to be impactful, and we all want to do the best job possible. But let's face it, we're all in this for referrals. And the more that you can roll the red carpet out for your clients, do the best job possible, but to just give them that wow factor. And trust me, those parents of those children today,
Yeah.
they're not going to forget that for a while.
Yeah,
you
it
could
was
see
really-
that they appreciated it,
Yeah.
and it warms my heart too because they were cool kids.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. It took a while. So inspections take, would you say, around 2 hours, give or
Yeah.
take?
Your normal, 2,000, 2,500 square foot home, 2.5 hours on that single system home is normal. Now, the more that you find and you have to try to diagnose, why an issue is happening, because as a home inspector, you are a generalist, but you still want to give as much information as you can to help them rectify the situation. So when you're into those situations, you can get that home inspection that can last, 4 or 5 hours. Probably my longest was about 7.5 hours. And it was a multiple system home because for every HVAC system, 20 to 30 minutes it's going to take when you add additionals on there. But then when you add multiple system home with somebody that has not taken care of that house, then it does take longer. And unfortunately, in this industry, your morning appointment is your guaranteed appointment where you're going to be there on time. But the biggest thing when those hurdles get thrown at you is just staying in constant communication with your afternoon customers and letting them know, listen, I'm going to give you the same sort of service, but it's taking me longer on this one. You don't need to give a whole bunch of details, but you want to give honest information and let them know if you're going to be late because everybody's time is valuable and that can turn a situation bad by not communicating well.
Yeah, because sometimes you just don't know what you're walking into.
Nope.
Like,
You only know what you know.
You see a picture of a house and you're like, oh, everything could be good, but then you get there and things might not be so good.
Exactly.
You're digging into things. What do you think is what scares buyers the most? It's actually not a big deal.
Well, you actually have just tapped right into something that is near and dear to my heart, which is radon.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of information out there on radon. It's not this public service announcement that you see on the evening news, and it should be. Radon is everywhere. Radon is in every single house ever tested in the United States and Canada. I can't say the world because that's where the EPA tests.
Yeah, it's in our
States and
air.
Canada.
It's in this room, probably.
It is.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You're walking down the sidewalk, it's around you. It doesn't affect you when you're outside because it's not the radon itself that harms you. It is the alpha particles from the decay of that radon as it decays in its half-life, which takes about 4 days for radon to decay. Now, it's constantly rejuvenating inside of the home, and that's why if you're above that EPA threshold of 4.0 picocuries, you need to remediate. But back to your question is, so many people are scared and petrified of radon. You don't need to be scared about it. You need to be wise about it. You need to know if your home has it. Again, I said it's in every single home that's ever been tested. So, is it in your home? Yes. Radon is in your house.
Yeah.
You need to know, and the only way to know...
What level is it?
Right,
Yeah.
the only way to know is to have it tested.
Yeah.
So, you have it tested. Say you're above the threshold of 4.0 picocuries. And again, people hear that and they just start flipping out and they're like, oh, I don't want this. Listen, the next house you look at could be the same scenario. You call your local professional for radon remediation and they come in. They're in there for an average of 1 day or less. And the average cost is $1,500.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's
to have your home remediated. Radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. So when it comes to lung cancer, there's two big ones. Smoking, number one.
Right.
And then radon is next. So it is a very serious health concern, but you don't need to be scared about it. You just need to know, is your home safe? And it's very easy and fast to remediate. And it's really not going to break the bank. When you talk about the major defects that you can find during a home inspection, radon is one of the easiest and inexpensivest ones to fix when it comes to the major defects in a home.
I think it gets stigmatized a little bit. We don't see it a whole lot in Lower Delaware, but I think that's what happens. It's a big, scary thing, but totally fixable.
It absolutely is. And there's so many common misconceptions about radon, and I could literally talk about radon for 7 hours straight ahead. But the misconceptions that are out there is, that it's not prominent in Sussex County, or I have sandy soil. So radon moves as easy, if not easier, through sand than it does through a silty clay style soil that we have up there. Basically, it just depends on, was your home built over a large vein of radon that can be encapsulated inside your home? If it was, no big deal. It can be remediated. Matter of fact, if you're buying a new construction home, chances are they've already put passive radon remediation in there. So the only thing you would have to do if you find it is add the fan. So it takes that $1,500 expense to about a $300 expense. So radon is a very scary thing to a lot of people. It doesn't need to be. It is a serious condition, but you just got to know, does your home have radon? Have it tested. And if it does have a high level, have it remediated, and it's not very expensive. So.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I wasn't thinking that, I was like, oh, I don't know what he's going to say, but I forgot about the radon. So, yeah. But, so speaking of new construction, you had mentioned new construction in there. Do new construction homes need inspections? Or are they perfect because they're new?
That is an absolutely phenomenal question. And the answer is yes. I don't care if it's a brand new home that they just pounded the last nail in, or if it's a 100-year-old pre-loved home. Yeah. It is 100% imperative to have your home inspected by a third-party inspection company. So we're buying a home. This home could be $300,000, which not many of those out there in the market right now, or it could be $1 million plus home down here at the beach.
Yeah, multi-million.
It does not matter the cost or the age of the home. New construction, we find, I don't want to say as many, but we find some very large major defects that have bypassed the county inspectors, bypassed the project managers, and the pessimistic side of me is saying, I hope that they didn't know about this. I hope that they weren't just crossing their fingers
an oversight,
and hoping that they weren't going to get a third-party inspection. And let me just breathe a little bit of life into that. Engineered floor joists is a common building method nowadays. Instead of conventional framing, an engineered floor joist has a top chord and a bottom chord, and then it has OSB as webbing in the middle. That webbing can be cut out for ductwork to run through, plenums, water pipes, things of that nature. The top and bottom chord of that engineered floor joist cannot be altered, cut in any way, shape, or form, because that is the structural integrity of
I've seen that on new construction.
Member.
Yeah.
And it would blow your mind how many homes that we go into, because we do a large amount of new construction inspections. All of our guys are very familiar with how these homes are being built today, what to look for, and it would blow your mind how many times we will go in and the plumber put a toilet flange directly through a cord. And this is the thing that scares me.
I've seen that.
Is all of the inspections have happened on this home.
Right, the county inspections or whatever.
All the stickers are on the electrical panel. You've got the framing, the plumbing, the CO. This home has been given a certificate of occupancy, looked at by everybody, and they're ready to move in, and we come in and do this inspection, and we're finding broken trusses in the attic, misaligned gusset plates on the trusses, these miscut framing members, whether they're conventional or engineered. So the customer comes in, they say, build me this dream house or build me this house. Maybe it's not their dream house. Maybe they're just fortunate enough to have a new construction as their first home. I was not. Not a lot of people out there are. But quite honestly, with our market the way that is in our inventory, a lot of first-time home buyers are going into those lower level cookie cutter 1,500 to 2,000 square foot single family brand new construction.
Brand new,
which is great. But so they're going in, they're saying, build me this house. Protect me. This is the largest investment that I have ever made. I'm trusting you to do this for me and have my best interest in mind. So what we find on a daily basis is we're getting to this end stage of the home build, the settlement stage where everything is done and they're saying your home is ready for you to move into. And without that third-party inspection, 2, 3, 5, maybe 7 years down the road, that floor is going to fail because eventually the stress and the load from that
right when the warranty expires.
Yeah. So the taillight warranty is gone, and that's when it's going to poke its head out. Yeah. So absolutely important to have a new construction inspection and
you
protect your investment. It's so much money. But
yeah,
these people are going to Best Buy and they're buying a $2,000 TV, and they don't even bat an eyelash at buying the $300 5-year extended warranty. On a $2,000 TV, you're paying $300+ on a home.
Yeah. Get the inspection.
A home inspection.
I really do advocate for the new construction. I've seen a couple of them and have one coming up, this spring. They're getting ready to sign up to do it.
Nice.
But the phases, so you do the phases, and then you catch these, if there's anything, you catch it, and you make sure it got fixed by the next time you come, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up. The phase inspections for new construction is paramount. Yeah. So if you contact your inspection company in time, you want to see if you can get in there with a builder at a minimum for a phase 2, which is a pre-drywall, and then your phase 3, which is your final. So the pre-drywall, you're getting there. They have not put any insulation in. There's no drywall up. There's no siding on. They have your windows in, your roof on. All of your flashing is done and it can be viewed. All of your framing on the inside can be viewed. Your plumbing and electrical, there are protection plates that need to be in place. Once that insulation and drywall goes up, anything that is behind that wall,
you don't see.
It's now nobody's ever going to know until it
lives
becomes
there
an
forever.
issue. Exactly. So for new construction, highly recommend the phase inspections, as you just said. That at least that phase 2, where you can get in, you can see that, and then your final to make sure when they finished, nothing else went wrong, and that home is ready for the customer to go into.
Do you guys still come out for that 1 year, like after that, like right before that 1 year stop?
Absolutely.
For their warranty, just to go over things, and then they can submit the list right to their builder.
We offer to all our new construction customers the opportunity for the anniversary inspection.
Yeah.
And that anniversary inspection is very important because a lot of builders, they offer that 1 year warranty. And they do have different levels of a structural warranty after that.
Right.
But they offer that 1 year warranty on anything that is non-structural. So HVAC, toilets, plumbing, things of that nature. And our customers have us come in at about that 11-month mark, and we go back through and we see, did anything settle and cause an issue? Did a leak happen to appear from the vibration in your plumbing pipes? Every time you turn on a water spigot inside your home, your pipes vibrate.
Okay.
So it's not that it was missed or what have you. A lot of things can happen as part of home ownership. That home inspection is not a guarantee that nothing is ever going to happen to your home. That is this is the condition of your home on the day of inspection. And we went over it a little bit at the beginning. The average home inspection is 2.5 hours. So we're occupying that home for 2.5 hours and trying to find out everything. But coming back in at that 11-month mark for the anniversary inspection. Matter of fact, before I came here, I was coming from a customer that was having a 1 year anniversary. We were checking out an insulation issue that was found, and they're actually going to take care of it. And this actually is after the warranty expired.
Okay.
They're
making good on
there are some great builders out there that really have a customer first attitude, and they take care of it. And usually those builders are the ones that welcome the third party home inspectors, and they don't give the pushback. There's a few out there that do everything they can to not have us come in. Usually when that happens, that's a huge red flag.
it is a red flag, and sometimes it's tough because, I've been with the buyers sitting with the builder's sales rep and saying, oh, well, we do our inspections. I'm like, yeah, who pays for those? Why don't you pay for your own inspection and get your own, peace of mind? That's fine. It's not that we don't trust you. It's that we don't trust you. So we want to get, but they sell that, it goes through all these inspections already, but we find stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was a few years ago. We actually did a lot of work for a large builder. I'm not going to mention any names, but we actually were hired by this builder to help protect them.
Yeah.
And we were doing the phase inspections on their new construction, a phase 2 and a final on all of their new builds, and it helps protect them against their subcontractors.
Yeah.
But just to give you a little bit of insight on that, you hire your own realtor, hire your own inspection company. Your local realtor is the person that is going to be there for you, answer your phone calls at 12:30 at night if need be, and they're gonna have your interests in mind when it comes to getting you into the enjoyment phase of that home.
Yeah.
And
we want people to, be happy and enjoy life here in
Absolutely.
Delaware and, not have any problems.
So I did a little test, and my scheduling team is phenomenal at getting the best logistical aspects out of our day. So this day they scheduled me for like 5 phase 2s, because a phase 2 you could go through pretty quick and they're all in the same development.
Okay.
And so I was there and I saw on my schedule that later on in the week I had an abundance of finals in this same development. And I'm like, I want to keep my eye out, because I saw the 2 project managers that I was dealing with over on the other street, and I was doing the roof of one of these homes, and I happened to see the county inspector pull into the development. So I kind of sat over on the side of a dormer and inconspicuously, so they couldn't see me, and I just watched the transaction. And again, this is why it's so important to have a third-party home inspection come and take a look at your future home, your most expensive, in most cases, investment you've ever made.
Yeah.
Is I watched this pickup truck pull into the development, pulled into one of the driveways, the project manager come out, and they were talking for about 5 minutes, and then you saw a fist bump and a piece of paper off the clipboard get handed, and it had a bunch of green stickers
ready to go
on this. It was a piece of paper, and I can only assume that they just peeled a little bit of the corner and they just stuck them all on there. And so this local inspector, assuming that it was a county inspector, I don't like to assume, but it was an inspector that's supposed to be protecting these people's homes,
right,
never got out of the pickup truck. And hold on, I also want to throw a disclaimer that this was not Delaware. We service.
Oh, okay, good.
We service Delaware, Eastern Shore, Maryland, and Southern Pennsylvania.
So it was not Delaware.
So, no, this was in state other than Delaware, and there must be such a trust factor there, because I then watched the project manager go to 3 different houses with this piece of paper and affix these
put the stickers on
of approval. So very important. Have your investment protected. Home inspectors get the nickname deal killer. That any home inspector that's worth their weight in sand is going to go to that same exact house. You could have one property and have it inspected by 5 different inspectors, and those 5 inspectors, there might be a different word here or there, but they should have the same inspection and find these big nuggets. And now a home inspection is visual. We're not destructing anything. If it's a pre-loved home and occupied, we're not touching their property. We're not moving it around. We're inspecting around it, which sometimes can be difficult. But these 5 inspectors are going to find the same things, hopefully. So it is absolutely important to get that third-party inspection, protect that home. They're not very expensive. I'm pretty sure that we're still cheaper than an appraisal. And
Appraisals are getting expensive.
yeah, and which blows my mind. You know,
Yeah.
they're there for like 10 minutes, and
Yeah,
we're there
appraisal is
for
not an
3
inspection,
hours.
too.
Yeah.
Like, some people.
Some of them can be. Oh my goodness, I've
Well, not
ran
like,
into a few.
not like AmeriSpec does, but
So yeah, and just protect your home, new construction or pre-loved. If you're buying a new home, have it inspected. That way you know what you're getting into, and anything can be fixed. Anything.
Yeah, you said that today during the inspection, and I like that it was like, yeah, here's this big list of all these major defects. And I think sometimes when you say the word major defects, it's like, oh my goodness. But some of those major defects are just like little safety issues that need to be fixed, like a broken outlet cover, which is an
Yes.
easy, simple, less than $1 fix sometimes that is easy to fix, but it's a major defect because of the safety concern, right? And but yeah, so you made a point to say, everything is fixable, just to kind of calm, because sometimes first-time home buyers especially get this big list from this inspection and they freak out.
They do,
So,
and
But you had a very calming
the
presence over it. Yeah.
The home inspection starts long before you pull in the driveway. So speaking for a lot of my guys and myself, I start the night before. I'm building my report. I'm pulling up every bit of information that I can on this home to see ahead of time, what I'm getting into. I try to see, because a lot of times when the person that calls the inspection in, they don't know what the home has. And I can ahead of time, so that it's not a surprise at the time of inspection, I can have the office call and be like, hey, look, we found 2 heating systems, or we found 4 electrical panels. And
surprises.
Right. So it starts long before that.
Yeah.
And it also starts the minute that I meet my clients. So like today, I could see a bit of anticipation, some fear, excitement.
Yeah.
And, your communication to your customer, because we're there to give them what the condition of the home is on the day of inspection. We're not making this stuff up. It's already there, but
We're pointing it
how
out.
you communicate that to the customer is absolutely paramount. And you can take really bad situations, because honestly, you probably have the same exact end goal as we do. Is we have the same clients, and we want this client to get to the enjoyment phase of their home and get through this closing process. Something made them fall in love with this house long before they scheduled the home inspection, because they had to put an offer in.
Right.
It might be the school district. It might be the house itself. It might be the land that it's on, the beautiful 4+ acres and this farm pond in the back. Something made them fall in love with this house. And yes, we're there to tell them what is wrong with that house.
All the problems.
Right. And how you do that. And we're limited on what we can say. Like, I can't tell them, oh, that's an easy fix, because what might be easy to me might not be to them.
Once you start taking things apart.
And legally, we're not allowed. But
Rob said that was an easy fix.
Compassionately, the way that you communicate to your customer, the way that you word the things in your report by giving them the information. I always like to think of it as I'm reading it about my home.
Yeah.
So, or when I'm going to try to tell them something not so great about this house they're getting ready to buy, I try to deliver that in a way that
how
sets
would you
it
want to
up.
hear it?
But at the end of the day, they're getting to the same end goal. Let's use a rotational crack in a basement, for example. At the end of the day, that crack needs to be looked at by a structural engineer, so that a repair can be formed, and then a contractor then can follow that engineer's repair and fix the issue. But if you just come out and say to a customer, oh, your basement's cracking and one wall's pushing in, and you're going to need an engineer.
We should all get out of here.
Right, and that's what's going to happen, and they're going to then start having offer remorse, and that's where
scary.
you get the deal killer mentality. Yeah. An inspector is not a deal killer. An inspector is out there to get the condition of the home, but how, and we are 100% responsible for getting that nickname, how you send that information to your customer, how you deliver it to your customer, is life-changing. And that's how you get, I mean,
it matters a lot.
If I had $1 for every customer that has had me personally inspect 4, 5, 6 homes until they find that perfect one, and I've given them all of this bad information, but we're there for them, not just until the inspection report's written after, and the communication is there and it's open. So communication is huge, and I'm pretty sure that you could interview any inspector, and they're going to tell you the way that you communicate is a sign of how your business is. So
yeah, I would agree with that. It does help things. It helps the buyers for sure. Have you ever had an inspection where there was no problems?
I have, and usually you'll have. Well, when you say no problems, you mean no major defects. There's no such thing as a perfect house.
Yeah.
But usually I'll have 1 or 2
The
a
anti-tip
year.
on the stove.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because I believe it was
Yeah.
like 1998 when the federal government said all ranges manufactured and that are in a home now have to have this anti-tip device. So since that date that they made this decision, every single range ever produced and sold through a retailer. Now, if you're buying them secondhand, it's not a guarantee. But if you're buying them brand new, it came with an anti-tip device.
Yeah.
I think that there's some huge conspiracy theory and we're building a satellite or something out of anti-tip devices because nobody puts them on.
Nobody does.
No.
It always comes back as a major defect.
You just brought that up, and I wish that I had the statistics in front of me. Go ahead and look up how many injuries and deaths happen by ranges tipping over on children and adults. It's some scary things. This little $9 L bracket is very important on the back of your range.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it's very important.
Well, if you've got this hot, pan of stuff in the oven and you go to get it out you pull it out and it tips,
Absolutely.
that could be a problem.
Or if you have children
an easy
like I
fix.
was, using the oven door as a step stool to get to the cookie jar. And then it tips over.
Yeah.
Not to say that happened, but it probably did when I was a kid. So.
Yeah. You survived.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. I mean, so there has been some times where there's not so many.
Yep. You will have that diamond in a rough.
Yeah.
That super well maintained home. Every once in a while, it'll be a new construction, but it's usually a pre-loved home that there's no major defects. The maintenance has just been meticulous. Yeah. And when you walk into a home like that, it's phenomenal. Because a lot of people think, oh, the home inspector has to find something. I mean, you can ask any of my guys, anybody that's training, Clint, who is with me today.
Yeah.
I want us to get to that house where we cannot find any major defects. Now, we're going to find upgrade items. We're going to find maintenance items. But I want to have that house that you don't have any major defects. I love home maintenance. I love it when you take care of your home. So you buy a brand new car. You don't ever miss an oil change. You're getting the tires rotated when it's supposed to. And this is on a large expense, but it's nothing like a home. Yeah. And then you go to the home purchase. And then after the home purchase, maintenance is a forethought. And it's not done. And they're not taken care of.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, if you don't listen to anything that I say, perform the maintenance on your home. We offer this program called a home health check, where if you don't feel like that you could go through your home and see what needs to be repaired, what needs to be done.
So you don't have to be buying or selling.
You don't
could
need
just
to be buying or selling.
Get at the inspection.
Take care of your home. Provide the maintenance. Super important. We have a lot of golden-yeared clients, the elderly, that they don't want to get in their attics and crawl spaces, and they have us come out every couple of years. There's a couple of them that have us come out every year and just get into these areas and
check on the things
and think about how smart that is. Again, in most cases, it's the largest investment that.
Well, and a lot of times I think you can catch something early before it becomes a worse problem.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah. You can catch these problems, fix them before they become super expensive, and also they could cause more issues like the dreaded microbiological growth.
Yeah.
When you catch that early, it's an easy clean.
Right.
If you let it go, it could wind up taking over an area. A lot of people don't or realize that microbiological growth can turn into a wood-destroying organism. So if you let it go long enough, it can cause further damage to...
or like infestations with like termites and
exactly
bees, like ants, anything.
Wood-destroying insects absolutely petrify me.
Yeah. Have you had any like large infestations of...
I have a lot, but probably the coolest, and I am so sorry to these clients if you see this, it was the coolest infestation that I think that I've ever seen, but I was like scared for my life. So I'm doing this inspection. It's a crawl space, and it's a fairly large footprint home. So I had to crawl a long ways to get to the center point of this crawl space. And as I'm getting through there, I had seen a couple little small mud tubes going in.
Okay.
And as I'm going further in, I am shining my flashlight around, and I see on this center pier in the center of the crawl space these humongous like mud lines. And I'm like, it can't be. And
like on the floor? Or like on the...
coming from the dirt up the concrete pier into the framing of the home is just a mud tube that goes up.
And the mud tubes would indicate termites, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So your Eastern Shore subterranean termite, they are not able to live out in the elements. So when they live in the ground, usually they can live inside your home if conditions are right.
Okay.
But usually they're going to have a colony inside the ground, and they're going to eat the wood inside your home. But if you see mud tubes, it's a sign that you have termite activity. You need to, because they can't live in the open air. They have to build these tubes to crawl through when they're going over non-wood products or non-cellulose products.
Oh, okay.
So because they can't just walk across that concrete, because they will expire by the time they get to the top, because they just dry out. They need the moisture from the mud in the ground and the wood and in that mud tube to survive. So anyway, I'm looking through here and I see this, and this is very early on in my home inspection career, and this turned out to be to date, the biggest infestation, but I was just geeking out in this crawl space. These mud tubes were 2 inches wide, 1.5 inches thick, and they were all over the center pier, and they went up. Termites are a very smart insect, evidently.
So because the mud tubes were that big, is that because there was a ton of them, or because they were big termites?
Because there was a ton of them.
Okay.
And they had their access from their colonies in the soil going up into the framing of this house. And at this point, and I'm just geeking out, I'm breaking a couple of these tubes off, and you very rarely will see live termites.
Right.
And I'm breaking these tubes, and I'm seeing them just, because termites don't sleep. They eat 24 hours a day. So they're just going back and forth in this mud tube, and I'm geeking out. And then I look up, and I take my screwdriver, and I poke the beam, and my screwdriver goes completely through the center beam of this.
They were eating it.
That's holding, and it was this way for the floor joists.
Oh my God!
There's like 6 people that came for this home inspection above my head, and they're walking around. And at this point, I'm like, I need to get out of this.
You need to get out of there.
I've got enough photos right now. I know what needs to be done. I need to get out of here, because I'm looking at the joists. They're just destroyed. But
wow.
And listen, that anything can be fixed.
It was fixed.
That customer followed back up with me, because I love, staying in contact with, certain customers. Some people are just so busy and whatnot, but this was a first-time home buyer, young couple, and they were just super excited. This seller wound up fixing everything for them. They live in that house. They are ecstatic, and every once in a while, because they got like 4 or 5 kids, I'll see them playing out back, and I'll toot and wave and say hello to them. But it makes me happy when, again, they fell in love with that because of the school district.
Okay.
I can say it, CR school district. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get into CR. They had a price point that they needed to meet. Their seller actually came back with the repair requests that they put out there. They fixed everything, and they made their dream home come true in the area that they wanted. So it's kind of cool.
So everybody survived the termite infestation.
They did, and I did not know that I was going to, but I did make it out of that crawl space. And So, note to self, don't get infatuated with what's going on with the insect. Look up as you're going over there. And
Stay safe.
Then you can have a better plan of exit.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Right, well,
that was pretty cool.
all very interesting. I mean, we'll ask like one more question. I was thinking, like, what's one thing that you could tell homeowners to do that they should do every year? Like, if it was one or maybe two things, I don't know. But what's something as a homeowner, what could they do for maintenance every year?
Okay.
What's important?
So first and foremost is, because I'm huge on safety, is check your smoke detectors and your batteries in your smoke detectors. That is the first line of defense if there is a fire event inside your home or a carbon monoxide event. And just because you don't have fuel burning appliances doesn't mean you don't need carbon monoxide detectors.
Okay.
If you have an attached garage, you need to have carbon monoxide detectors. So
Good
make
point.
sure that your home is safe that way. But here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is something that really sneaks up on a lot of people, is they don't understand your HVAC and your water heater. So those units need maintenance done at a minimum every single year. So if you have a tankless water heater, it needs to have service done every single year. Manufacturers suggest it, require it, whatever their wording is in their paperwork, every single year. If you have a tanked water heater, you should have it serviced and drained, if you don't do it yourself, every single year, because it builds up that sediment. Having your HVAC systems serviced every year, that's how you're going to make that system last longer than its expected life. So proper maintenance is a way to do that. There's just so many moving parts inside of these new high efficiency units that we have, and electric heat pumps. An electric heat pump, you have to be an HVAC technician to service it because it's a closed environment. Everything is inside the jacket of that heating unit. And most of your HVAC contractors are also plumbers. So
that's true.
My favorite HVAC contractor who I use services HVAC and my water heater at one time, and
and he comes out every year.
Every single year. Yep.
Yeah, I knew that the HVAC was probably a good idea, but I haven't heard much talk about checking that water heater. So
it's very important. You got to think of the sediment, and especially if you're on a well.
Yeah.
You're getting it with city water as well, but if you're on a well, there's all kinds of sediment, and that stuff settles to the bottom of your tank, and that tank needs to be serviced and flushed every year. And you're getting the same thing on a tankless, just not in the magnitude that a tanked water heater has, but it is imperative for a tankless. They recommend yearly maintenance on tankless.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because a lot of times people get the tankless, they think it's less to worry about. I don't know why, but they think that, and they do require the maintenance as well.
So tankless, they have their place. I've always been a firm believer in, I was never going to go tankless because Megan and I, we've got a lot of kids, and you're every time with a tankless that you need hot water, you're turning the tap on. Yeah. And it's requiring all of those resources to heat that water.
Yeah.
With a tanked water heater, I had 50 gallons on the ready. With a tankless, you don't. But now that age is getting up there with Megan and I, and our children are moving about the country and in college and out of the home, that we've actually had the discussion that I think we're going to go tankless.
Oh, when's this going to happen?
It's going to have to happen soon, because on the service last year on the water heater, the drain valve broke on the bottom of my absolute workhorse of a 32-year-old power vent unit.
Oh my gosh.
It's a Bradford White, but that's what proper maintenance will do for you.
32 years.
And this thing operates like a absolute champ. But
is that the oldest water heater you've ever seen, or have you seen older ones?
Oh no, I've seen older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
that was still working.
I had a Sears one that was written in cursive on the front of it, and it was 42 years old.
Handwritten?
What's that?
Handwritten?
Nope.
Okay, but it
might have been hand painted.
Okay.
It was an old water heater, and I don't know if you remember back the Sears units. They used to have Sears written in cursive.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And that was probably the oldest water heater, straight water heater. There's a lot of boiler systems that heat the home and also do the potable water. And I've seen, 60-year-old boilers that are still
they last a long time.
They do typically last longer.
Yeah.
But I have one question for you, if you
don't mind. Sure.
So what do you do to prepare your buyers for the home inspection? Because it's important to, as the real estate agent, to prepare them for what they're getting into with the home inspection. And I thought
Well,
it'd
I do tell them that you are paid to find things, right? And that's what you're there to do, is to point out all of the things that the home could have a problem with, or a potential problem, or might be something for them to maintain.
Right.
So I tell them that, they probably are going to get a big list of things. That's normal. But that, that's what we want you to do, is to find things, so that if there is a real problem that they don't think that they can live with or want to deal with, or anything, that they can know at that point and talk about, other options. So, I'm always preparing that way, that's what we want to know if there is a problem. We don't want it to be, a hidden problem later.
Exactly.
Right. So we want that. But I also tell them, the other part of that is to read that report. I know that if they're attending the inspection, we talk about, what you find, but to read through that report, because what I've found reading through the report is there's a lot of maintenance items that is helpful for especially new homeowners that they may not realize, that are put in that report.
That's awesome.
It's like a blueprint of how to take care of the home. Okay, we know that these things might be wrong. Here are some other maintenance things that you could maybe hit later down the road, or think about, putting, different systems in place for things like that. So I talked to them a little bit about it. The first time home buyers this time, I, told them that let's not get overwhelmed if we get this 80-page report, because that's pretty normal.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's amazing that you do that, because so many, not just first-time home buyers, but even experienced people that are buying, second homes and whatnot, they don't read the entire inspection report. They focus on the summary, which is all the major defects.
Yeah.
And then they don't look at the rest of it. So especially with first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
So in the body of the report, after the summary, and I'm speaking about our reports.
Yeah.
I can't say that everybody
Right.
else is going to look
yeah.
like ours, but for the body of the report, it not only does it go through and give maintenance items, upgrade items, something that might be available today that wasn't when this home was built, but it also has every building material that we can visually see. So,
yes, and the age of, the serial number for the appliances, or whatever, the water heater, all that stuff, all in one spot.
And communicating and letting your customers know that this is good information for them, not only for the maintenance health of their home, but that 2-hour-long conversation that you're about to have with your insurance company. They're going to ask you all of these questions, and we have given you the answers to the test right here. When they say, what is my roof made of? What is my ceiling material? What are my windows composed of? That information is right there in the report. So.
Yeah, I tell them it's like a blueprint for, their home. This is what was found. This is, there's some tips in there to help maintain certain things. But it's really nice. And I do encourage them to read through the whole thing. We're not not just about negotiating repairs and things like that. That is a nice blueprint for them on their home.
Communication is key.
Yeah. So, but I think so too. And prepping them, when you ask that, because I don't want them to get overwhelmed, and then I don't want to get a phone call oh my gosh, we didn't know it had so many problems.
Right.
But I do try to attend inspections to learn. I learn a lot.
I don't think that I've ever done an inspection for you that you didn't show up.
For
a little while.
Yeah, I learn a lot, and when we go to look at homes, I'm looking at their loan type. Is this going to work, or are we going to have problems? Because I might point things out and say this, we don't know. We're going to get the inspection, but this is something that could be, an issue that comes back. So let's just,
You are the puzzle master as the realtor.
Yeah.
You are putting all the pieces together as they come in, and they don't all look the same, and their corners don't look like they're going to fit. But amazingly, when it's done,
it's a miracle sometimes to get to the closing table.
The puzzle is done on the closing table, and everybody looks at it.
Yeah, but it takes the team. I had a lender we talked to, but the lender, the home inspector, the insurance agent, all of that stuff. So, the attorney, it's all a big team effort. So.
And I'm a huge believer in, support your local agent, your local mortgage company. When we get that phone call and, it's a new construction and they didn't give us a realtor's name. Hey, are you represented by a local realtor to help protect you and your investment? And so many people, when they go to these new construction, they're utilizing the builder's attorneys, the builder's sales reps. And, it's really good when they can be looked after and protected by their own.
Yeah, we're definitely an advocate for our clients, and just a lot. And like you said earlier, it might be oversights, but sometimes things happen, and we're there to check and make sure that things stay on track. Everybody gets the same goal. But speaking of that, you guys are a local company, right?
We are.
Yeah. So local for Delaware, and you also go into other states, right?
We do. We serviced all eastern shore of Maryland and southern Pennsylvania.
Okay, great. So, any last thoughts or?
I just want to thank you for having me here today and discussing these topics. It's been great, and it's always fun hanging out with you. So.
Oh, thanks. I bet you have tons of stories though too, because you were really getting into the termites.
I like to hear the sound of my own voice. I just get really passionate about things that are important to me, and when it comes to the real estate home inspection realm, radon is one of the just swept under the rug things that nobody really knows the correct information on. And
I'd
any
agree with that.
opportunity that I get to educate, I do a lot of Module 7 educations for realtors. I think you've been in some of my classes, and I got a couple coming up at the end of the week, but I love educating. And, I don't usually choose the course. When I have a brokerage or, a KCAR or SCORE or Newcastle County and they call, I'm like, what do you want to learn about? What is it that is important to you?
What's coming up?
And when it comes to Mod 7s, we have to stick to what has already been approved. But let me tell you, when it comes to a lunch and learn and I'm going in, I don't care what it is. I'll build a program. If you want to learn about it,
we'll talk about it. Yeah. So you do home inspections, the new construction, radon testing, well water testing, and septics.
We do septic. We do sewer scans, which is something that a lot of people don't realize. That if you're buying a home and it's on city sewer, the homeowner is responsible for the pipe from the house to the city tap. Sometimes that can be up to 200 feet. And yes, it's not usually as expensive as replacing an on-site septic system, but it can be very expensive. So it's important to have that pipe from the home to the city tap inspected, scoped through a camera system.
Yeah, because roots can get in the way and all kinds of things can happen. And that's inexpensive.
Yeah, we offer full phase inspections on new construction as well, thermal imaging.
Okay.
So if somebody's got that pre-loved home and they're worried about insulation values or maybe hidden water leaks, we can do thermal imaging on their home.
Oh, okay.
We have the 11-month warranty inspections, getting ready for that end of that 1 year.
The pre-listing, so for sellers, which I do encourage. But
awesome.
Yeah, so if you're going to list your home, you can get the inspection out of the way. We can market it as saying it's already been inspected. These couple things have been taken care of or whatever.
Yep.
It's all out there. It's done.
So the pre-list inspection, if you're listing a home, there's no better thing to have done than a pre-list inspection. It takes the surprises out. You get to make the choice at the end of the inspection. Do we want to fix them? Do we want to disclose them? What's going to go on? And from that point, whether you fix them or you disclose them, at that point, anybody that puts an offer in on that house hopefully read the disclosure and already knows. So that
there's no surprises later.
That miscut joist is not going to be an issue to them.
Yeah.
Or what
they know about it.
They know about it. So pre-list, it takes the surprises away, and proven on average, it gets everybody to the closing table faster. So
absolutely.
It's the same price as a home inspection. The benefit is you get Repair Pricer for free with a pre-list.
Okay, so
So-
the estimate of how
Yep.
much, if there's repairs, how much they would cost.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, how can people reach AmeriSpec? Are we online or?
Yeah, we're
okay.
online. We're at amsde.net.
Okay.
Or if you want to pick the phone up and hear one of our lovely voices on the other end.
A live person always answers.
Always
You don't have to push any
unless
buttons.
Unless it's after hours.
Yeah.
But here's the fun fact is even if it's after hours, you're probably going to get a phone call back from that live person no matter what time of day
Yeah,
or
I've
weekend.
called before and you guys were busy, so I just hung up and figured I'd call later. I get a call back. Did you just call?
So
I'm like, yeah.
the team in the office is absolutely monitoring even after hours
Yeah.
on weekends those
Wow.
voicemails. But yeah, if you want to give us a call, our phone number is 302-996-0405, and we would absolutely love to help you out with your real estate transaction, whether it be new or pre-loved, and help you protect that amazing thing that we call home. So
And you are owner, right?
I'm one of the owners, yes.
Yeah. So. Okay.
But listen, I'm also an inspector. I'm in the field
Yeah.
daily. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't able to be out there doing what I love, which is, helping people and in construction and being able to view it. And as I get older, the inspection side of construction is a lot easier on my body. So, I love it. So
Yeah. Awesome. And
I'm Inspector Rob.
Inspector Rob.
Some people call me Radon Rob, mostly Megan.
okay, your wife Megan, who is also in the business.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
she is also an owner, and
Yeah.
a lot of times when you call the phone number,
Yeah.
you're going to speak to her.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to let people answer the phone before she does.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, Rob. Thanks
Thank you
for
for
giving
having
us
me.
some insight into the home inspections, and hopefully, maybe we can do some more, some more videos.
That would
So
be
we'll see.
awesome.
All right.
I always have fun when we get to hang out. So.
All right. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching.
Thank you.
Yeah.